Hi, Laura. How you doing? Got your work up? Thank you so much for getting this submitted. Logo looks good. I think the logo encapsulates everything that you're really trying to go for based on your, your writing and your research throughout the weeks. That's great. And you mentioned that the mountains are visible everywhere in Alaska, so it's kind of basically has to be in your logo, and I get that. I completely get that. I have a question though. Can you say mountains without saying mountains? And that's where symbols come in. Can you give us a symbol for a mountain instead of actually drawing mountains with the sunrise? I think that's really an important consideration right there. Another thing I want to mention about the logo itself is that you've got this is an organic creature, right? And then you've got these wonderfully these organic wings on the side, and then the bottom of the creature, and then but you have these straight lines. And I think that's a disconnect. I mean, I think this should be more of an organic line, maybe even curved or something, instead of just straight. That's just too geometrical. It's too mechanical for this actual creature, living creature. Do you see what I'm saying? Another issue with the logo itself, I think the mark is too big for the words. You got this giant mark this big, and then you have Anchorage just a little. Oh, there it is. There's Anchorage. There, right there. So it's barely visible, especially when we back down. And this is a good trick for you to do in all of your design. Is just back off a little bit, see what happens. You can see Anchorage is now, it's gone. You can't see it. You can see the everything, but the Anchorage is gone. That's a good indication that size of that typeface isn't standing up to the weight and the size of the mark and the rings. I would reconsider those relationships. I would not put the year right now is kind of in the logo. Okay, I'm guessing that right there is the bottom of the logo. What I would suggest is have your mark, okay, then have your Anchorage, and then have your rings under that, okay? And then 2022 can be right above Anchorage, but it does not have to be that big in relationship, comparative relationship. The other thing I'm noticing about the logo is that the logo kind of doesn't have an interior. In other words, it's open right here, okay? And there's going to become an issue there, and let me show you what I'm talking about. The issue is going to have to deal with branding, and we can see it right here, and we can see it even further right here. The problem with having a logo that doesn't have a solid color or a series of colors associated with it is that I just noticed your branding is off right here. If this is your logo, it's different than this. That's a different logo. So you definitely want to, definitely. The colors are different and everything. Yeah. You got to watch that. And that's kind of what I'm getting at in terms of really solidifying your branding. Okay, so you have this logo that doesn't have a color, which means that it's going to adopt anything that you place it over, including these mountains, or if you place it over red, or if you place it over yellow. And what that's going to do by having this clear view to the background of whatever you place your logo on is it's going to really compromise your branding, because your logo is going to change every time you place it on a different background. And as we know, that is not what we want in branding. We want that thing to be consistent and solid presentation, highly consistent identical in every presentation, not a little bit different here and a little bit different here. But that's your logo. That's your visual identifier that's got to be consistent. It's got to be solid. Okay. Okay, that's for the logo. Oh, these are great. I love these. They're really super playful, and I totally get what you're saying. My only problem is that with the headdress, sometimes you're going to look like this is a female sport. So I can guarantee you that someone's going to look at this right here and go, oh, women's hockey? I guarantee it. Guarantee it. So that's something you have got to think about. Plus, I think these are starting to look a little Keith Haring-esque. So you might want to shoot for something a little more original than that. Okay, so think about that. Plus your lines here. Watch out. Look at all these little lines. Like these all have to whoops. I gotta love Adobe. these all areas right here, they all really have to be cleaned up. Okay, like this. See how all those lines converge right there, and then they're overlapping, and some of them aren't touching, and some of them are irregular, and these are touching here. But you see what I mean? There's just too many irregularities. That right there. You see, you just have to really be cleaned up. Okay, other than that, I think your ideas are awesome. This looks great. You got the idea. I think that your natural trajectory is going to take you where you need to be. But let's try to wrap up those little logo branding details. I think that will really solidify and strengthen the presentation. Okay, very good. If you have any questions or comments, or if I need to clarify anything, please feel free to let me know, and I'll go ahead and do so. All right, thanks very much. Good job.